Hey, this is Naltzer, and this is the Tier 8 American cruiser, New Orleans. She has 35,400 health, a top speed of 32.5 knots, 9 203mm guns, 8 secondary guns, a surface detect of 9.5 kilometers, and 61 AA defense rating. For my modules, reduce crit chance on main armament, improved aiming accuracy, reduce the chance of flood and fire, faster rudder shift, concealment. For my commander, priority target, expert marksman, jack of all trades, superintendent, demolition expert, advanced firing training, and concealment again. We are on the map Neighbors, and yes, I know it's very, very, very red. It's a Valentine's Day exclusive camouflage. It's normally 60 doubloons, and that's pretty steep, honestly. Right now it's 40 until Valentine's Day, so on my press account, and this is my press account, I figured why not just screw around. The doubloons mean nothing anyway. But what does the camo give you? 100% Commander XP, 100% Ship XP, and then the 3-4 dispersion / camouflage that's attached to pretty much everything. So, how is the New Orleans in 0.6.1? She's not too bad. Honestly, she's not too bad at all. And if I was a better commander, I would have swapped to AP there and attempted to penetrate his side. However, I did not think that the Atlanta would continue going that direction. And sure enough, he continues to go that direction, but he's moving back. The enemy has chosen an A-B strat. And when I say things like this, the bulk of the enemy team will be able to support both A and B. They've already captured B, which is honestly the hardest one to capture. I don't know how we allowed that to happen. There is probably not a good reason for that, but it's a public game. It's completely random what people do. I am top tier, obviously, if you recognize these ships, tier 6, tier 7, and tier 8. I am not going to show any mercy. Enemy Leander, his smoke dissipates just in time for me to fire my guns. And the rate of fire is definitely felt. You can engage targets that you wouldn't normally engage in the previous version of the New Orleans. You just can't put out that much damage in the prior version. But now, it's just like the Baltimore, just like the Des Moines. Very rewarding to fire these guns, hit the target, do massive damage, and be ready to go almost right as the shells reach the target. And you can manipulate the velocity to your advantage. Some people will complain, oh, the velocity is such a huge deal. Well, you know what? It's not a huge deal to take out targets. I can use it just fine. Thank you very much. And this Leander, he's showing a ton of sights, so I'm going to keep my AP loaded. And I really want to kill him before I go around this island. No, we missed the Citadel. I don't believe... Oh, it doesn't matter. Someone took him out. So, a lot of the U.S. cruisers fail at velocity of the shell. Longer shots are more challenging for the ship than the shorter range, medium range. Why is there a Saipan in my view? I'm going to fire at the aircraft carrier, and I'm hoping to Citadel him. We do. 14,000. All right. Well, let's continue the process of killing him. I don't know why he showed himself. I'm not complaining. I just don't know why the Saipan is showing himself. But he gets the picture. He's like, whoa, that was way too much damage. I'm going to pull away. And look at what happened. The single enemy destroyer is AFK. What a waste. Oh, God, you just feel bad for the enemy team. When you don't have your destroyer, you lack your scout, your objective control. It allows you to engage the other destroyers. My 2 destroyers have not really been engaged that much. There's nothing they really need to worry about. They're feasting on free AFK targets, and I didn't really care about that guy. Who cares? It doesn't prove anything that I can kill an AFK target. Where's the real prize? And the real prize is this enemy Nagato that's pretty aggressively pushing forward. He's bow on, so I'm going to fire my HE. And the range is not good. Well, compared to other... Well, not the Mogami. The Mogami has garbage range, but compared to other cruisers, you really do give up range if you're the American cruisers. That's just what you give up. So you have to compensate for that. You're going to be closer to the enemy than the average cruiser, the average battleship. You need battleship captains that are willing to get into a fight, to get stuck in. The Gneisenn is definitely getting into a fight. He sends out his torpedoes, and they don't really catch too much of the target. He's still alive, and the Gneisenn has to deal with that. But I'm thankful that the Gneisenn is dealing with that, because if you notice, nobody's targeting us. Absolutely nobody. The enemy Nagato dies. We are free to continue doing damage and trying to engage targets that could threaten my friend until I see a naked broadside New Orleans, and I just can't pass it up. It's cheap wine, by the way. I just can't pass it up. I don't know why, but the nakedness really attracts me to it. I feel so guilty for that ship because it shouldn't be naked. That poor, poor ship. You're just telling me that you're not using anything premium. If you're not willing to put anything on your ship, you're not willing to put any premium in it. Because the camo is just as important, if not more, because it provides that concealment. The accuracy, and oh man, on the stream, it was funny. On the stream, I was like, come on, we can do it, get the Citadel. If I could take that guy out, he can't retreat. He was trying, and he failed. We got lucky. We got the Citadel on the hipper, and we took out our counter tier 8. The only tier 8 left in the match is that New Orleans, and I don't want to run in the island. You've seen a lot of close encounters with islands so far. And also, so far, there's always been a friendly closer than the enemy. It has protected my ship from the attention that it probably deserves, considering how much damage it has done to the enemy team. I think everyone would admit that. And that's the real trick. I have to be able to support my team, have support, use the islands to my advantage, and provide DPS. Because I think, I'm going out on a limb here, I think the US cruisers probably have one of the highest DPS in the game for their guns. Yeah, sure, the Japanese could probably spike that up with their torpedo systems. Yeah, the British could probably also do it with a combination of their torpedo systems and their guns. However, the Brits require that the target be angled in such a manner. I do not. So, theoretically, I'm going to have the highest average DPS over thousands of games in a New Orleans, a Baltimore, and a Des Moines. It really does feel like it. Just to get off a topic real quickly, well, sort of transition to a broader topic, the US cruisers that they buffed definitely feel like it's very easy to reach 100,000. I know people are like, well, they have terrible armor, they have terrible angling, they have terrible everything. They should be able to reach 100,000 easily with their DPS. That's not really the point. Yeah, sure, they're not battleship. What cruiser is, okay? Every cruiser is going to die if he makes a mistake in front of a battleship. You just can't afford that. You need to manipulate your opponent's tendencies to engage targets. And that's no different now. So if you're having trouble with the New Orleans, if you're having trouble with the Baltimore or the Des Moines, consider how you're playing those ships. I really like to maximize the concealment value of every single, well, cruiser, every single ship that I can get it on, but especially cruisers and destroyers. And why is that? Because you gotta hide from those battleships. Those suckers will always punish you. Always. You'll burn them down. You'll burn them to the ground. Absolutely, you will do that. But you got to be careful. You've got to, and I have to, I'm telling myself, you must only use the two front guns sometimes. It's difficult. It's difficult, right? It's difficult to tell yourself, I can't use all my guns. But the rate of fire increase is sort of a twofold thing. It makes using only two guns a superior choice, and it's much easier to keep up the firepower. What was it, 2 seconds they buffed it by? That's a significant amount of buff that a particular ship gained. That means that it was very, very, very behind the other ships. And that's fair. It doesn't have torpedoes. It has to kill you straight up. It doesn't have any funny business going on, right? And the Saipan, try to escape. I am just barely not in range as he moves away. And that's probably the biggest gripe. If you're gonna critique these ships, they don't have the range at all. They have to compete on different levels. Enemy Pensacola, he's rocking the orange white and blue camo, and I'm just trying to get some damage before the game's over, because we have just dominated this game. The enemy came out and tried to engage the team. I was the DPS in the background, while the battleships were the tanks. The perfect engagement, I think. If a battleship on your team is refusing to push, well, it's going to slow down the entire progress of your team. It just is. It was unfortunate that the enemy destroyer was AFK, and that's just the way games work out. We did earn first blood, 2 kills, 2 citadels, 90,000 points of damage done. The friendly destroyer made a huge difference because there was actually an AFK Colorado. I would much rather have an AFK battleship than an AFK destroyer, because let's be honest, some of the battleships are already AFK. I hope this was interesting. I hope it gave you an idea of what the New Orleans can do. I hope you have a fantastic day, and I'll catch you next time.